Wii Fit is the best-selling extra gaming title of all time after it hit the Wii in 2007. But did you know there's a plethora of unused content left over in its game files? Today, I'll cover the unused models, unused graphics, and unused animations of Wii Fit and Wii Fit Plus for the Nintendo Wii. To start, there's an early version of the soccer heading field left over in its game files. You'll notice that there aren't any cones surrounding the goal, there aren't any soccer balls or panda heads spread across it, and there's an actual decent background in the final version. There are 3 soccer hitting balls, all with different models and lighting compared to the final versions. There is a version of the bounce bubble course with textures oddly similar to the obstacle course demo shown off at E3 2006. Along with it exist models of the bee and balloons. There also exists an unused candle with some text on it for the terrifying Lotus Focus minigame. I mean, Jesus, what is going on here? Existing in the game files is an early version of the 3D text used for the ski jump minigame. The font seems to be not nearly as cartoonish as the final version, and the integer indicating the distance jumped is off-center from the letter M. There's an unused ski that goes along with it as well. There exists game files hinting at an entirely unused minigame named Parachute, where you guessed it, you parachute. Along with it exists the Wii Sports Golf Training course, and it could have been used as an actual course in the scrap mode. There is the actual parachute itself and a target object that I think the player would have had to collide with or even land in the center for points. This ring is also associated with the parachute game, and it resembles rings found in the E3 2006 Wii Sports Airplane demo, but it lacks red stripes. Another scrap minigame is fencing. There exists all of the balls from Wii Sports and Wii Play in the game files, along with a model of a saber. It would have actually been pretty cool to walk around the balance board with my feet and do some stabbing with the Wii remote in this fencing mode, and I'm a bit disappointed with its removal. Something super cool left over in the game files is actually 2 unused table tilt levels. Although you can see the models in game, you notice that some levels have a weird collision pattern with the ball, and that's due to the collision model not being mapped into the game and the collision model of the actual course being used instead. 4 models exist under our directory indicating some sort of balance test. This was probably made super early in development, as none of it is consistent with the Wii Fit theme or branding. This next part might get a little spicy. There exists a realistic model of the female trainer with textureless white clothes, and based on the structure of the model and the texture of her body, it's apparent that the model was planned to be nude, and the developer simply retextured parts of her body. I know, it's crazy. Unfortunately, you cannot use a naked body texture, and I think that's for the greater good. I just want to say that I did not attempt to do this, so don't come at me for it. Our first unused texture is actually 2, and if an unused character breathing in and out, and indicate how to breathe while meditating in that scary ass candle minigame. Our next texture is an icon for a checkpoint for the unused balance test, as referenced earlier. This next texture is pretty interesting. It's a placeholder image for the balance test minigames. The icon in the top right means temporary, and it's pretty common in textures of unused content. I wonder what this path on screen is referencing here. Finally, there exist unused icons in minigames for the training menu. Now these go unused because they're unlocked from the start of a brand new menu and are therefore not seen. Now over to the Wii Fit Plus unused graphics. There exists a graphic of a test map for the bicycle minigame left over in the game files. In the image, you can see test ramps, distances, and surfaces. The test stream would have had materials representing kanji on it, and this can also be seen, including the ankle increments and the distance in meters. A screenshot of Rhythm Kung Fu earlier in development shows some very interesting change details. You can see that the text on the sign above the Mii's was changed from Wii Fit to Kung Fu. Swords were added to the walls, and the vases were switched to be more varied in color and design. The camera was moved to be a bit closer to the player and even lower. Even the feet were changed to be seen in the final version of the game, as they were covered up in the early screenshot. There are some unused animations for the body test, and oh boy are they something. Let's start with what Nintendo considers a good representation of having an underbody weight. Crazy. We'll come back to the healthy weight BMI, but let's look at the overweight BMI. Nintendo got people stomping around like they were Donkey Kong and getting a good slap on their belly like this is madness. And obese is the same thing, if not worse. Now let's go back to the health weight BMI animation. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. According to Nintendo, you cannot be happy unless you were a normal BMI. That's just great. I mean, great. Wait, before we close off the video, I just opened up a brand new Discord server where you can talk to other people about unused content and video games, or anything for that matter. And also, I just want to say, okay, this is no longer energetic Raneter here. Dude, I've been sitting here for like almost 12 hours trying to finish this video, and I did it. It's 8:38 my time. Alright, goodbye.